Hello, everybody. It is I, Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am your good old Ascension Master, Master Healer, and Divine Guide. I am going to be re-releasing Mount Shasta Part 1. I went over it again today. Luckily, there was only 64 views on it, and there was a lot in that one that probably should not be. Mount Shasta is the main part, and so I will be giving that one. If you do wish to heal with that one, it is available on my workshop. Most of the ones I post on here, they're not for your healing, they're for your witnessing. It does require an equal exchange. Things are not given to people freely through the ascension, right? It's something we work for. And so hopefully people can watch these and understand what it is that I have done. Now, I am the one who brought about the ascension. It started with my Kundalini awakening in 2020. Then I started clearing the earth of things. I was doing these weird things, healings I didn't understand. I rose Atlantis, sat on Saturn with Hermes, cleared my own contract there, saw myself die, and rose Atlantis. Then I cleared Mount Shasta. 11/11 of 2020 is when I cleared Mount Shasta Part 1, and we're getting ready to do Part 2. So that's why this is really important for a re-release. So that people can understand what happened, what it means, and so on and so forth. Now, this one was available on my channel. They are workshops. I can show you this. It was 11/11 of 2020, right? So I'm just going to show you guys that I really do own these things. They do come through in workshops, okay? Oh, shoot. So it's no longer on here. 11/11 of 2020 got pushed back. That's okay. That's why I'm kind of glad I do have some of these up and recorded. That way they don't go anywhere. I can find it again. I promise you it's probably in my emails and things, so I'm not too worried about that. And it also helps because I did upload it way back when on my channel. But you can kind of see these are all my workshops, you guys. It's not a joke. I've been doing them since 2019. 2020 is when they started in the beginning. And it's just been nonstop. So we cleared Mount Shasta, then I activated Fiji, which was right here, Fiji Healing Retreat, which was just a few months later. Okay, there was other, this one, Full Moon Workshop was a very important one. There's lots of things that were very, very, very important within the ascension. Okay, and I am the one who brought it about. They've all been witnessed and recorded, came through me, happened to me, and it is part of who I am. The entirety of the return of Christ has already occurred. And now my DM is being called forward for the final time. If he comes, he comes. I just wish that he would love me, right? Like there's no reason for him not to. This is kind of, I'm just like, I don't want another one to die. So I did lose one DM in it, but this was on my Ascension playlist. The Rising of Jesus Christ. I freed his soul. I reunited Jesus and Mary Magdalene. I undid the false Holy Grail. Okay. I've done a lot of things. So I will be removing this one from the channel. I will probably download it first. I will do that later. And that way I have it in my archives again. But you guys, these are workshops. The first half of this was much more than I wanted to show. But in the very beginning of it, I said we were going to Mount Shasta. Look, I pulled the card Mount Shasta too. And I was like, oh my God, that blew my mind. But the problem is, and then make no judgments was very important. So do not make judgments in these things. Okay. But people like to, they really do, because that's where we come from. That's what we're used to doing. So I'm going to play the rest of this video. It is about clearing Mount Shasta. Okay. So please watch. This is a re-release. This is part 1. It is relevant because on July 22nd of 23, we are going to go in and put in the masculine energy as we were always supposed to. Mount Shasta is a portal of ascension. It is one that you have to go through in order to ascend. And what Mount Shasta talks about is realizing that you were in a false earth. That's a big part of it. It's also clearing any karma that you took part in your past lifetimes with it. Okay, so if you purchase the workshop, it is on my website actually as well. So that's another, you'll get the whole thing and your energy will be called in accordingly for the healing. Okay, if not, it was not before. So let's just watch what I did to clear Mount Shasta, because I haven't watched this since then. So I don't remember all of it. So let's watch.
Gloria,
So if you feel like that resonates for you, know that it's for you. And then more might come forward as they get used to knowing why they just came in here. So we thank them for being with us, and we ask them to please keep us in the highest light and protection. And go back a little bit more. Protecting us and allowing us to be safe. And now I want you to remember this was a workshop. So I was doing healings on other people. We did other things in it too. And I released this so long ago. If I was doing it now, I would have trimmed it better and edited some things out just for personal reasons. But so I will be doing that. So here you go. Heard and giving us messages that we needed and the love that we needed. And they are no longer needed for us now. And I'm actually seeing them kind of go poof, poof. Some of you actually had cherub angels around you too. And they're going poof, poof. And then now we welcome into our space our new upgraded guides and angels that wish to come join us. Now, oh my gosh, you guys, that's so, some of you just got goddesses and gods. Oh man, this is so cool. It's like they're coming in like poof, right in front of you. And they're kind of getting to know your energy. So they're putting their energy with yours. And they're like touching your hair. And like, whoever you, where did I come from? Why am I here for you? And kind of getting to know their purpose with you now. I'm going to see into if they're going to show me who any of them are, or if that's just in time you'll tell type of a thing. Couple seraphim angels are here. So Zedkiel is new for one of you. So that is now one of your guides. He's going to be with you right now for a long time. So he's like your main angel, right? So I used to do these a lot differently than I do now today too. And I can notice the difference in myself. So I just want you guys to be patient and please just watch. Okay. Zedkiel, call on him. If that resonates for you, know it's for you. I heard the name Gloria. One of your guys is named Gloria. So if you feel like that resonates for you, know that it's for you. And then more might come forward as they get used to knowing why they just came in here. I will also tell you I look a lot different. Number one, it was a couple years ago, but number two, when my DM died, that's what happened to me. And anytime my DM causes me to have to take on that light, I swell. And when my DM died, it took about 10 years off of my life. So please just understand that it sucks, but it is what it is. So we thank them for being with us, and we ask them to please keep us in the highest light and protection and allow these transitions to be magical for all of us. And Merlin is also stepping forward, and he's kind of using his wand and going boop, boop, boop on all of you. Oh, and he said he's also casting your abundance web wide. So he's like taking that golden abundance web and throwing it out in your field everywhere to allow you to grab onto abundance in every way. So he's also saying beyond what you can imagine. Okay. And they're still kind of upgrading our solar plexus. So I'm going back there. They're like, again, lifting the layers and putting light codes in under the layer. Lifting a layer and putting more light codes under that layer. Lifting that layer and putting more light codes under that layer. So again, any stiffness or any resistance that you feel, surrender and allow it to flow. What's really cool is in the very beginning of this, when I pulled Mount Shasta right here, I said portals. So I'm just going to show you that really quick, and then we're going to go back to 104.37. Okay, so I just want to show you that part. Yes, we are now recording. Thank you, Pamela. I wasn't recording at I was first. So excited. I totally forgot. So Mount Shasta is what I pulled you guys. I can't make it. So they told me we were going to Mount Shasta, and then I pulled it. So I was like, oh my God, because I had just started doing all this stuff. I didn't know who I was yet. That up. I just did that just now. Like, that's amazing in my opinion. So we've got, again, Mount Shasta. Oh my gosh. Like I can't, I'm sorry, that took my breath away. I love it when I validate for myself, and validations come through all the time. It's just, and so really I'm going to look at this card a little bit. Remember I said it's like really the portal, you guys, and that's kind of what this card is representing, isn't it? Like all these energy portals coming out of Mount Shasta. So I'm really going to be like in awe at what comes forward while we're in Mount Shasta today. Like so back then I still didn't know exactly that I was cutting off life support from it yet. I didn't even know it was corrupted yet. I still didn't know who I was. Okay, so let's just watch the rest. I'm putting light codes in under the layer, lifting a layer and putting more light codes under that layer, lifting on it at any time if you feel like you want to up level. Again, if you guys are feeling pressure, let's ask that it be released and received with ease and grace, because there's a lot going on, so I do apologize. They are up leveling, they are giving you light codes throughout your whole entire system right now. So just each time, just kind of take a deep breath, swallow, and allow your energy to flow, and ask that it be received with ease and grace. And I can't imagine if we didn't do this work today, what it would be like in December when it shifts. So I'm thankful right now. Thank you, thank you. All right, so back to the Mount Shasta is opening up again. So it's showing me again like a volcano. And now I'm being drawn to the triangle with an eye. I'm hearing Illuminati, I'm hearing KKK, I'm hearing, I even saw Alcatraz for whatever reason. I don't know why Alcatraz is coming up here, but I did. I saw the island. I'm hearing that was deceptive also. There was a lot of deception going on there, a lot of brutal violence. They're showing me a lot of control, but they were also drugging them all, apparently. There was a lot of like drugs going on, like take this, shut up, take this, and then beat you down type of a thing going on. So again, I'm being drawn to all prisons, not just Alcatraz type of a situation. And so we're kind of removing that. So again, it's like that bloodshed down the maze of the root chakra into the earth, and it's being sucked back up. And so all of that control and abuse, again, ancestral. So I'm also hearing ancestral. So there's some ties here too. A lot of just, you know, abuse and control, and a lot of wrongful convictions, they're being brought to the surface so people can see and people can heal and people can release. I'm seeing again spirits coming out of Mount Shasta, you guys. I'm seeing spirits kind of like they crawl out, oh, and they're just free and they can't even believe they're being released. They've been there so long. Man. And then also I'm being brought to like our presidency. So I just heard the Clintons, any kind of deceptive behaviors, any kind of, so this is interesting, you guys. So I'm seeing them write something. And it's almost like what you would call a spell in a way. So it's like writing their way into manipulation. And there's a lot of that going on. And so all of that is kind of, I can see the pen going, blah, 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 blah. More exposure. So I'm seeing faces come off again. So just be ready for more exposures. More exposures is really what that means and represents to me. So faces are coming off. It's kind of gruesome, but whatever. So that's happening. And instead of that really deep, like bloodshed red, she's just like really lighting up like a flower would, if that makes any sense. So Mount Shasta. Okay, so the triangle with the eye. I'm seeing there's some kind of, like somebody like tethered it and tied it down and made it something it wasn't. And all of that is being dissolved and removed. Illuminati is going to be exposed. KKK is no longer going to exist. These things are no longer going to exist, you guys. So they're being removed. They're going to knock them. So the divide. So now they're bringing me to the divide, right? So every which way we were divided, every which way they created the divide on purpose. The divide was created on purpose, and you can see it in the world massively right now. It's being brought to the surface to be removed. Okay, it's being brought to the surface to be removed. They're also healing any like relationship connections that you have that are no longer of your highest and best. So be ready for it. Maybe sometimes people fall out of our lives, and that's okay. Allow space for that. There's a reason right now. Man, there's a lot going on here. So they're kind of finishing up your solar plexus too, you guys, and I can see something coming from the core of the earth now, and it's coming up all of our cords, going up into our being. So it's light codes coming from the earth, you guys. Light codes coming from the earth and our cords. So it's like communicating differently with our cords. We're gonna all connect so much easier, you guys. That's what they're telling me. It's not gonna be so dense. It's not gonna be so hard to connect to the earth anymore.
And so they're bringing these light codes up into our feet and into our cellular structure, into our being. And again, they're like deconnecting us from that virus. So it's like deconnecting from lower fears and all of that kind of stuff. Because again, I'm hearing it's not what they're saying. And so they're really deconnecting, just kind of deconnecting, taking its power away, allowing that virus to dissolve, allowing it to dissolve and go back to where it came from. It was man-made. Absolutely man-made.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
I could
the
see
V.
people making it with petri dishes.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was the V.
But it's not what they wanted it to be. So let's be lucky they made a mistake. All right, so this is a lot. I apologize. All right, so everybody take your deep breaths. This is a lot, I know. This is a lot. So I'm gonna ask them right now to step in, to kind of take a step back, since a lot of you are feeling a lot of heaviness and a lot of shifting. And we're just gonna sit here and allow things to integrate for a moment. Allow things to integrate. They're giving some of you gifts right now. So if you feel like you want to receive a gift, just allow yourself to receive a gift. Whether you see it, feel it, know it's happening for you. Some of you are getting a cross, like a necklace with a cross on it.
No, that's interesting.
And that cross is like a jewel or a crystal of a certain kind.
The cross is false. So I find, but we didn't know that yet. I wasn't allowed to know that yet. So I find that very interesting. And some of the people that did this workshop chose into the shadow. So they're not around anymore. Me or the light.
So that's really pretty. It's like they're putting it over your head and onto you and allowing you to just hold space for, it's like renewing our connection with God. We're really renewing the connection with the true God. Yes, God is real. God is absolutely real.
I had no idea who I was when I did this, you guys. This is so crazy. I love this. Pay attention. If you know who I am and you've watched the recent ones and you go back to watch these, it's amazing.
Angels are real. We're all real, right? There's no need for divide. Oh, no need for divide. So you guys, the divide that I've always seen is actually being mended slowly. So it's like energetic, like coming together as we're doing this work. Okay, now I'm seeing fires. So I'm going to give a break on our bodies and I'm going to Mount Shasta. And they're showing me some fires. They're showing me fires and people running and screaming. I feel like some towns were wiped out by some fires and there's a lot of carnage there too. Like whole towns were wiped out by fires. They were man-made fires, some of them, and killed a lot of people. So there's a lot of souls just trapped and know what happened, screaming, and they're all kind of coming out of the root of the earth. Again, more souls being released, more healing and mending occurring. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just saw like a new energetic level of Mount Shasta. So like in the core of her, it just went poof and up leveled. Okay, and so there goes the earth rotating even a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if our north and south pole are no longer where they were.
No, I've moved them several times now, and they've even said the earth has shifted like 33.5 something or other. So everything I've done now is in full totality. So you can actually look back and go, wow, little did I know. And I even added 5 more poles. So keep in mind that this was one of the very first things I did. We did not cut it off from life support yet until I did Fiji. We moved the earth root chakra back to Fiji. Then we cut off life support to California entirely. Okay, so that's in the Fiji workshop. You'd probably want to watch that one after this one.
I'll just say that. And so again, we're going to ask for ease with the tectonic plates. I do not want anybody dying, please. I ask for ease and grace or any shifts within the earth from this time forward.
I still didn't know what was coming.
Let it be the best that it could possibly be, please, and thank you.
I just knew what I was doing was real.
I'm still at the earth's root. Goddess Athena and Hermes are stepping forward at Mount Shasta, and it's almost like they're doing something. Obviously, I'm just not quite sure what. It's like they're putting something into her root chakra. They're doing something with her root chakra. It's like up-leveling the earth's root chakra, kind of rotating the earth's root chakra within Mount Shasta. I don't know if there's a volcano there. Hopefully it's not going to erupt. Hopefully it's just really kind of calming that energy rather than doing the opposite every week.
So I find this very interesting because I know now, like I said, we didn't take the root chakra out until I did Fiji. I had to activate the pyramid in Fiji, then we moved it. So I didn't know who I was yet. So they would do a lot of this with me and for me. And now I know what they were doing is they were detaching it. I didn't know that then, but they detached the root from Mount Shasta because when we activate Fiji, we cut it off from life support. Mount Shasta is a very, very, very dark portal. It was. It no longer is alive to the earth.
Needs to be seen. So again, they're just really just putting light within her. They're putting light within her. So it's wherever we pulled out darkness, they're filling it with light. That's exactly what it is. Okay. That helps. So there's just so many souls being released, you guys. So we asked for these souls to transition
hundreds
with
and
ease
hundreds and
also,
hundreds.
and all of the healing to occur completely for our ancestors and our past lives that we're releasing at this time. Not all of these were ancestors. Some of these were your lives. So just so you're aware of that. All right, so now they're taking me back to us. So just allow yourself to relax. Our heart space is next, and this one's going to be the bigger. So everybody feel into your heart space. And then I'm also seeing somebody else cuddling a baby and saying goodbye. Sit and ramp it. And even when they would hang witches and they would hang people that were different, the KKK would burn Black people on the crosses or people of color. I don't like the term Black. We're not Black. I'm not white. I'm like peachy, right? We're brownish. We're orange. That's how I look at people. But all of this carnage is being brought forth and healed at this time. You guys, and the earth just shifted again. Holy majoli. All right, and as that happened, you guys, there was an influx of light codes coming in again from above. So please allow us to come in with ease for everybody. I'm even feeling the pressure even into my lymph nodes. So allow it to come in with ease. And for anybody that got knocked out and has to come back in, know you can watch the replay. I'll get help eventually, hopefully, with these. So I'm just going to let this come in for a moment because everybody's feeling so much shifting and pressure with this one. This one was massive, you guys. I didn't expect this either, and it's affecting me too. So just know we're going to have changes through the weekend, okay? And you're going to probably get more downloads today and more things coming through. Pay attention to seeing like animals that are in spirit form, lights flashing, and different things happening, okay? So we're going back into our heart space now. Back into our heart space. See if there's any more that need to be removed before we can completely upgrade into the 5th dimension and beyond. Again, I saw some alcohol. So there were some alcoholics. Somebody was an alcoholic, like a backhand. Shut up. Shut up. What? Like that. That's what I see.
So there were people in the workshop with me. That's probably the energy I'm reading into. So don't worry about those things. This one was truly about showing what I did to Mount Shasta. This was part 1 of Mount Shasta when I did, and we have a new one coming this month where the DM has to do something in Mount Shasta as well. But I will tell you right now, Mount Shasta into Fiji is a portal. The reason being is because it was a false entity. And now that we have shifted that, once you start wakening up, that's the first portal you go through, that you must clear any karma from past lives that related to it, and choose out of the shadow each time. Now, some people went through these workshops with me, and then unfortunately the shadow would hit them and they would choose the shadow. So, and they won't be able to ascend past those points. So be very careful. And in this one, I didn't know who I was. It's so funny to watch these and not know who I am. And then now to know the totality of everything I did, it's like, holy majoli. So if you're new to this channel, please stick around and subscribe because you're going to miss a lot. Don't like, the proof is there. Okay. I say crazy things have been done. And it's just mind blowing. So just watch.
That's being surfaced. Like, and then you're like, oh my God, that just happened to me. And then from then on, you were so afraid of that individual, a father figure, right? Maybe not dad, maybe stepdad, but a father figure is what I'm hearing. Male, masculine role, like very controlling. And they're removing, it's like like that. And it's being removed. It's being removed and being healed. And it's even affecting my throat. Because it definitely silenced you. That was a big one. All right. And so now we're going to the whole drug control thing with in Mount Shasta. So I'm being brought back to the Earth's root chakra again. And I'm seeing that these drugs were all manufactured, you guys, like by the government.
And again, not root chakra. It's dead. Fiji's the Earth's root chakra now. Do you hear that? The drugs are manufactured by the government.
By the people in control, by the people to control the people. Okay, that's a reality. So like methamphetamine and like all of these things were created to control or to manipulate. They weren't like for themselves.
Now I forgot about that because my DM and I had to clear those and I had to do it by myself because he chose into him and he chose the fallen angel again and he died. And the second one might end up choosing darkness again and not making it. I hope not. But this is why Mount Shasta is coming up again, you guys. This is a crazy full circle for me as well.
If that makes any sense. All of that is being brought to the surface and removed and removed and removed and removed. And it's helping people with addictive behaviors right now. It's helping kind of ease that. It's kind of helping take away that major when they try to quit, if that makes any sense at all.
So a really good one to watch is the shadow one, because that's a bigger part of this one. So all of that is part of your shadow. Shadow is El Diablo. It is what's been in charge of this country. It is what has created all this carnage and what cut out God from your earth.
That was a way to control and keep people small, but it was not for fun. There was never any fun movement in that one. Again, governmental.
Still trust them.
All that is being removed. I just heard Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, way before my time, I believe. So is Abraham. Eisenhower is now stepping forward. So let's see what this is coming forward for.
I don't know if this was one of them where I took out Abraham's contract, you guys. I'm curious now. It might be in this one. I'm gonna have to look over it again.
I heard peace treaty also. Peace treaty was false. It was not what it was meant to be. So everything was kind of like a falsehood. It was like, I'm going to make you think it was this way, but in reality, we're writing it this way. So yeah, Eisenhower. What's up with Eisenhower? Was he assassinated? I don't know. I heard assassinated. I don't know if he killed people or if he was assassinated. I heard Eisenhower, and then I heard assassinated, silenced. So he must have been one that was silenced. So that's being removed. I would have to check into that. I don't know. I'm just going with what I'm seeing.
I never looked that up.
Again, everything they gave us was fake, right? So, so they're just giving us space right now. So all that's really being removed. So again, I'm seeing more people rising up from the Earth's root chakra, more trauma, more bloodshed being removed from the Earth's core. And every time we do that, it's raising her vibration, you guys. All right, so now we're ready to up-level our heart space. Okay, so they're going in, you guys, this is taking it to a whole nother level we haven't done yet, okay? So again, they're reminding me, you might feel some dizziness, you might feel some heart palpitations. Just be mindful in knowing the work that you just did, and they are considered ascension symptoms. But if you feel the need to go to a doctor, please do so, okay? I'm gonna say you're gonna be okay because I can feel all of you, but again, feel free to do so. So now they're taking the first layer of your heart space up and they're expanding it, but then they're also putting light codes in. And it's weird because I can see your actual heart, but like I can see your empty, like an open vessel, right? So it's our heart space where we go to meditate. I can even see your real heart. Like it's pretty intense. So they're like putting a coating around your heart and around our organs too for all the shifting that we're about to do within a month. It's like really protecting it and giving it that code of love and
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we did Fiji just a few months after this. So
support and energy field protection. Up leveling the vibration of our organs as well is what I'm hearing. So that's really awesome. And that explains why you might feel so many ascension symptoms within your heart. But no, it's all okay and it's all purposeful. And that's what they're showing me. So they're even like healing it and supporting it. And so there goes down the first layer of light codes. I'm seeing diamonds put in also. And then it's like shooting through your whole system. It's affecting every chakra. So please breathe through it. Breathe. I'm feeling dizzy already. There goes the second layer, you guys. So this is pretty massive. It's like they're not taking this lightly at all. What they're doing in here, they're doing it with very precise movements is the best way I can describe this work that they're.
So I did just look up Eisenhower. It says he died of a heart attack, but what I feel like I was saying is that he was the assassin. He was actually responsible for some of the president's biggest treaties. So let me see this, what it said. He planned and supervised two of the most consequential military campaigns of World War II, Operation Torch and the D-Day invasion of Normandy. So they're calling him an assassin. He was not assassinated. I just wanted to clarify.
They're doing right now very precise movements. So just relax and breathe into it. It's shifting your whole entire heart space. So you may feel different when you meditate. It's like coming into a new car. You have to get used to using it, right? You have to learn all the mechanisms and then get comfortable. And then once you drive it enough, it's like boom, like all natural. And so that's what they're describing here. Okay, and I also just heard Kennedys. So I'm being drawn back to the earth at the same time that they're doing this. And I heard the Kennedys. So definitely silenced, transitioned, and stowed away. I heard all of those with the Kennedys. Silenced, transitioned, and stowed away. And again, something they signed, and it's being dissolved. And more will be brought to the surface too with that, apparently. And then I saw a pillar of the White House go blah, 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 like crumble.
Yep.
One of the pillars of the White House just went blah, 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 and crumbled.
I've been doing this the whole time to the everything.
Like falsehoods, the false foundation. The false foundation is being removed right now. So we're removing the false foundation of what we were built upon.
Yep.
Absolutely. I've been doing. And that's going to help even more with the shift and even more with going into a new world. And it's going to be amazing. And again, I see Trump. So I'm holding space for that. He is of the light. He's not as dark as some people think.
But what we didn't realize, it has nothing to do with them. Presidency is going to crumble. It's a king and queen world. And I'm just missing my king. But I find this amazing. So Abraham Lincoln, I undid a contract for him as well. And I don't know if it was in the beginning of this video. If you want it, you can purchase the workshop because all you're getting is what I'm showing you today. But then I undid a lot more. And every time I did, more pillars would crumble the White House. And I forgot about this. This is so cool.
And he will be moving forward, whatever that means. And so we're back to the heart space. And I can see him moving another layer up. And then putting like another layer of light codes down and expanding all at the same time. So like this massive sphere, that goes around your whole home, basically. That's how big they're showing me your heart space is. And again, they're telling me to have you right now take a shift into that most beautiful thing that you're wanting to manifest. The thing you wrote down right when we started today, and focus on those words. They want you to imagine those words lifting off your.
That's why even if you watched this before and you think you received healing, you did not. My intention was set that you could not receive full healing in this one because when you purchase it, you get the very beginning and things when I call in the energy, but it's more intentional. So just be mindful of that. If you did some healing in it, great. If you do the workshop, it's going to be 10 times. Then you get all those DNA things and stuff. So just be mindful of that.
Your paper and being right in front of you for you to read right now. And go ahead and read them in your head, please. And then when you're done, say thank you and say so it is. And then they're showing me having you send it to the universe. So just imagine it going off into the universe after you read it. It's like magic. It's like magic words. And then Merlin is like, boop, boop, sprinkling his beautiful magic all over it. Oh, just don't put a time limit because it can be instant, okay? But if you think it's out in the distance, it may take a minute to come to you. So just know that it's already in your existence. It's already there for you. It's already being created right now. Like that whole shifting of the energy and creating exactly what you want right now. And I feel like this is also part of like our future for the earth too, right? So I feel like we've kind of broadened it a little bit. And we're all hoping for safety and peace. And it's just beautiful life, right? That's a part of it. So that's really being sent out right now. I feel this really in my heart space into my solar plexus. So just breathe into it. There's some transitions going on here. Okay, you guys, I just saw the crystalline grid of the earth being lit up again, and it's raising the vibration of that. It's raising the vibration. So there's no more third dimensional pull in that. It's completely cutting it out and rising the vibration. So anybody who's left in third dimensional is going to really start to struggle. Pay attention into your surrounding.
That's funny because eventually I turned the crystalline grid to masculine and feminine, and I hadn't done that yet. So I never know what's going on. And this was way back when I first started doing these. So it's so amazing to me to see what was missed.
You'll see them.
Or what I didn't know.
You can shine light in them if they're not willing to hear you, but that's pretty much all you can do. So that may be occurring, and that's okay. Remember, we can't force people. They're not always meant to go into the transitional stage.
Yep.
So pay attention to that.
But when you do these, you do have to meet your shadow, and then you need to choose into the light and not the shadow. And unfortunately, people choose the shadow so often. I've seen it happen time and time again. There's 13 gates when I did the Nile now, because that's how far we've come. Is I resurrected Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and the Nile. And that is when they really talked about the gates, and we are tested. And when you choose outside of the shadow, which is judgment, those things, we've lost people already. It sucks.
Positive, it's not negative work. All right, you guys, so now they're showing me the earth just shifted again, and the moon kind of moved with her. So it like shifted again. So again, we ask for ease and grace and ease in any transition the planet may see from here on forth, and that nobody gets hurt, please. And if they must, that they be peacefully, and it was meant to be in every which way, and it was not caused by anything that we've done. So be it, and so it is. Okay, you guys, so something happened with God is light, like God is light. Okay, so they're bringing me back to Mount Shasta, and something happened with God is light and the number 13 and that kind of thing.
Oh my gosh.
So any feminine energy was really snuffed out, and you can see it relevant in the earth today. And so they may, have that eliminated from our existence from the future going forward. And so any countries who are really suffering in that are not going to be able to remain the same. But they really did silence women. They silenced women, and we can't be silenced. We are God's portal, right? We're like.
So that takes me back to my DM and Adam and Eve. And when Atlantis went down, the fallen angels came down, and the false goddess got my DM, which unfortunately my new DM is still kind of hurting me, but not exactly the same, right? But this is what the shadow is really good at doing, is getting the DM to do things like that. But that's what happened at first. Was Eve was actually snuffed out. I was murdered through my DM and the false goddess. In this lifetime, that was the part of the journey I was scared of, was the twin flame journey, and it did almost kill me. Guys, this journey got very, very crazy powerful for me, and I almost died. And so hearing this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot all about that.
Like a portal for life, and if you take away that energy, it creates very dense energy, and so that's being eliminated. That's being eliminated. The whole masculine and feminine divide, the control of that feminine world is being completely eliminated, and whatever they did to control the numbers, like 13, I'm seeing goddesses rise up, feminine, major feminine energy rise up out of that earth right now.
So when I did the Nile, they told me 13 was snuffed out and used against you because that is the gate of heaven. So the 12 gates in the Bible was represented. Those are the gates of darkness, and there's 13 of light. And these are the portals that I have fixed and opened back up. And now you have to work your way back through them to Christ. And all you have to do is choose the light. But unfortunately, that shadow gets people so easy. I see it time and time again.
Being healed, and they're so good. They're like wearing their dresses, and I can see their leather sandals, and they're coming out like, thank you, and they're just being brought up to the light, just being completely illuminated and brought up to the light. It's like they were completely controlled, so almost like they were belted to the earth around their neck is really what I'm seeing, like choked out and tied down, majorly controlled. So this is going to change our structure. This is going to change the way we raise our kids. This is going to change the way we view like schooling.
Amen.
And the role of the feminine and the role of the masculine. Okay. So and I'm seeing another layer in our heart space. Some of that is happening still. They're still upgrading our heart. And they're already almost to the top of the heart space. So this has been like.
Do you guys remember when the thing that they created to take you away from God, right? That thing back in 2019, 2020, that put us all in lockdown. When we, all of us were at home with our kids, how many people did you hear about complaining about being stuck at home with their kids all day long and then homeschooling their kids? And people hated it. And it actually broke my heart. It breaks my heart because I was always a different parent. Like, where's my kids? I want my kids home. I've been homeschooling them ever since. I'm a work at home mom. Like, I do it all, and I just don't have my masculine to help or balance out or anything. But like, our perspective on motherhood and life got really mucked up.
Like, just amazing. And I'm seeing your heart is like lit up like a blue now. So it's really energetically being lifted, and the vibrations is really being raised. So we're just letting them finish that. Some of you are getting major DNA activations right now. I can see it in your wrist and up here in your like upper arm. They're doing something and like activating some DNA.
Again, unless you buy the workshop, you're not guaranteed.
There's Syrians here, Arcturians are here. Somebody's from Orion. Or
that was my intention from the moment I released this. Okay. Oops, I just did that. Is that you're not meant to be doing that.
Chakra in there that I can see just shifted. It just rotated. Just went, boom. Whoa, whoa. And then I also saw Arizona, so the hot spot in Arizona. So there's like a, the ley lines. The ley lines are being like transitioned, up-leveled.
Moved.
I don't know how to describe that. So all the ley lines within the earth are being activated and up-leveled and released and opened. They're saying shifted. Opened. So like screwed tighter, so everything's working properly, because I feel like some of their power was snuffed out. Like somebody like turned a knob and dialed it down so that people could not access full power. We were not able to access our full power. And so all that is being opened and released, and all the ley lines are lighting up like crazy. And so yes, that's and again, I heard Uruguay, something with Uruguay. So there's a ley line in Uruguay, I believe, and it's being activated, it's being opened, and it's being transitioned, transformed. So it was one that was snuffed out, I think. And then I'm even being drawn to crystal caves, so they're like being lit up, and the energy is being like lifted, like raised. All right, so they're still in your head space. You guys are moving some debris from our mind space. So like that belief that we can't use our whole mind, like that's nuts. And that was part of the control too. And so that is being removed from existence. They want you to erase words from your vocabulary. Yes. So it's almost like you're going to notice what words were written for control, and you're going to start erasing those from your existence from this moment on. So pay attention to that. Mary?
How many people do you know that do earth healings? What I do is totally different, you guys. I'm not normal. I've moved your planet, and science is now proving it. And so if you truly do watch everything, I will show you here in a minute. The earth has shifted like to 33.5 degrees or something crazy like that. And they're blaming it on water movement, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Water extraction. You can't move a planet. No human on this planet can move a planet unless you're a god. And not just any god. We're not talking about gods from Egypt. We're talking about Sekhmet was the sun god. Jesus, those gods are the only ones that can move the planet. And that's who I am.
Magdalene's coming forth again and removing any religious contracts. So it's like in our belief system, in our headspace, in our.
What undid it was fallen angels because they knew how. And then they manipulated all of you into the darkness to let them do it.
Core values. Some of us were really raised really, really religious, and we figured that this was completely like evil and non-real. And so there goes that judgments again, right? And so they're really eliminating those from our existence. I'm seeing contracts being taken out. I'm seeing all of that. And again, I'm being brought to the Bible, which also connects to Mount Shasta. And they're removing some of those words. It's like that hidden words within the system, hidden words within our Bibles. It was all about control and manipulation. So then I also just heard judicial system shift. It is built on power and control, and it has to change completely. We cannot continue with the same judicial system.
Nope.
So there's going to be a lot of reform, social services reform. We're calling forth and opening up the energetic field for, because all of it is not working. There's a lot of shrouded darkness.
Yep.
So it's like, again, crumbling, and it's going to be brought to the light and transitioned. And again, people are fighting it, right? So just be aware what you're letting in your system. And so now they're at your crown chakra too. So they're still doing it. And I'm feeling a lot of peaceful tingling in my head space. Yes, surrender. I'm feeling a lot of tingling in your head space. So there's more coming in. So a lot of you are getting some downloads right now, but pay attention to your dreams, because they're going to start just like, even though they're coming in now, they start showing up in waves. Does that make sense? So within the next coming days, you're going to have dreams, you're going to have visions, you're going to have some insights, but don't doubt them. Write them down immediately. Write them down and act on them. Please do so. And if your sleeping habits change when you do wake up, it's because they're communicating with you right now. That's what they're telling me. And I just released something. So please ground, get your feet on the floor. If you wake up 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, put your feet on the floor and just meditate, drop into your newly reformed heart connection and ask for what you need to know.
So the important part about this one and why it's so important to purchase that workshop is because when I undid Mount Shasta, you had to reconnect your heart to the earth. So that is a portal. And if you're working through it by yourself, good on you. Just know a little bit more about what you're doing and make sure that you're getting the activations properly and not choosing your shadow, because each one you go through, that shadow is going to try to take you down.
What you need to see, and just whatever it is, a feeling, an emotion, goosebumps, sudden visual, write it all down. So I'm seeing your third eye light up again. It's like ching, ching, you guys. It's like lighting up from your third eye to your crown and up in through that like energetic cord all the way up into the universe. So all of you will connect with the highest light. You will not connect from the lower light. And that's what they're showing me. All of you connect to a higher light at this time.
Now remember, some of them didn't make it through all the portals. They're no longer with me on this journey. Where they are in the earth, I don't know. They just won't make it through the portals.
All right. So now we're going back to the earth. Back to Mother Earth. And it's like, supposed to be a beautiful journey, and people still are just so ingrained into the shadow and the darkness, and that they're unable to see anything else. One of them went into major judgment on me when I hit my twin flame journey, and it really sucked because they had major purpose in the ascension. You never know what your purpose is or what you're supposed to clear or do, and so when there's more against you, that's probably why. Putting something in Mount Shasta, some Hermes and Athena, and they're like healing Mount Shasta. It's really interesting. So like putting her energy together on one side, putting her energy together on the other. I don't know what happened here, but something very bad happened there.
Yes.
Like a ritual of a negative sort.
So again, Mount Shasta was a false entity. I didn't know that right away. They don't tell me all the details right away because I wasn't supposed to know who I was yet. Do you understand? I had to know in pieces. When I got towards the end and I just cleared the Nile, when I freed Jesus's soul, we undid the false Holy Grail. I feel like Mount Shasta had a lot to do with the false Holy Grail.
A ritual of a negative sort. And I'm hearing like BC time frame. Like they're not showing me much more past that.
Nope, they won't show me.
But we're just going to eliminate it and allow it to be brought forth. And again, I'm seeing more souls coming forth, but these souls are a little different looking. So they weren't quite fully like we are. Almost like what you would call like alien type status, right? So just a little different souls being released from the core, being released from the Earth's root chakra. Okay, and then as we did that, it was another influx of light from above going all the way down our system. You guys, and all of your crystals are being...
Did you hear that? So the fallen angels came down, commandeered the earth, and through lifetimes, it just kept going. And then when Jesus was murdered by John the Apostle, he was poisoned. He didn't die on a cross. He was given poison, took him 20 minutes to die, and he bled out. Then they had Mary Magdalene gather his blood in a cup, which is why they made you think that was the Holy Grail. And then they took the blood and wrote a contract with his blood. And, you know, when they did these things to Mount Shasta, I'm not exactly sure. But it all ties in together. Okay. And I've talked many times about all those missing people that go missing, and all the bodies that I removed from Mount Shasta took me over 30 days to process. And if you think aliens weren't here prior, think again. Half of Egyptians, that's why they looked so weird in the Egyptian time frame. It's because I'm not human. Gods are not human. Neither are the angels. Okay. I just look human, but there's a lot of beings here that are not just one dimensional. And I think we need to understand that nobody was meant to be just one dimensional necessarily. We're just so small in our understanding of the world around us.
Being like up-leveled right now, they're telling me. So they're up-leveling them. They're up-leveling their connection. They're cleansing them, whether you have them with you or not. They're doing them. So all of you have like an energetic field around your crystals. And as long as you're accepting that energy through, that's what's happening. So there's no need to worry about that. They're going to be energetically raised. I can see it. They're like lifting up your crystals, and they're like vibrating, and they're like connecting with the core of the earth, you guys, because they really do connect with the core of the earth at all times, kind of a thing. They're putting more light codes into your heart space, as well as doing some still work on our mind space. So like our mind space, our brain structure is getting like a bit of an upgrade in its energetic field, a bit of a coating to protect it, and allowing you to access 100% of it, because that whole belief that we couldn't was very strong.
Yeah.
But
people believe so much of it.
If we could access it all, we can telecommunicate, and we can do all these kinds of things that they didn't want us to do, because then we would know what they were doing.
Yep.
And now I'm seeing our kids, you guys. So our kids are being brought forward. These are kids who have apparently passed, I think, not our physical kids, but also both. They're saying so both. So kids that we have here and kids of the past are all being brought forward and kind of gathered. So I'm seeing like an old dark set and then like a very vibrant lit up.
So I talk a lot about the people that do these workshops with me are put in a bubble. They will experience the ascension differently than anybody else. Because I clear their karma for them. We bring their shadow forward, and through each one they did, they should be working through their shadow. And so they're kind of in a bubble separate from the collective whole, because they did the work with me, right? Again, nobody's better than anybody. So I don't want anybody thinking that. It's just that when you do the work with the one who brought it about, it sets you apart from the collective soul.
And this is really kind of mending the divide there.
But I will tell you, that means you better be healing your shadow, because that's how we've lost a few people, right? And so all you got to do is say no to the darkness and yes to the light, especially how you would before. But it's easy to say the opposite, because even my new DM has not been quite listening to that light. So it's pretty easy to do. But It's such a beautiful transition if we just let it be.
They're mending the divide there and the gap there, because kids nowadays are treated completely different than they were way back then. But there was also like I'm hearing concentration camps where multiple kids were assassinated, like just completely. And so they're showing me like putting them in like a big group and they're just going boof and they're all gone. That literally happened at some point.
This is part of what the DM has to
I
help
really
with.
don't wish to get deep into that, but let's call for the healing for that and let's release their souls. Let's release their, and I hear them like crying and like ah, like a thing. Okay, so we're just gonna release those souls. We're gonna release all of those souls, and we're gonna give them love, and we're gonna send them to the light, and we're gonna allow them to transition, and allow them to heal, and allow them to be whole and complete. Okay, and then they're bringing me to the kids of our world now. So the ones that are here, the ones that are present with us on earth, and they're really kind of gathering them in a bubble, and they're putting like a dome around them. They're putting like a dome around them. It's enough, it's enough, it's enough, it's enough, it's enough hurting the kids. It's enough.
Yes.
And so there's going to be reform in everything. There's going to be reform in everything. It's enough. Like there's no more. It's been ordered to stop. No more. It's been ordered to stop. No more sex trafficking, no more like slavery, you guys. Our kids are still in slavery movements. Like it's not
Everybody
so
around.
all of that is being removed and dissolved from the earth's core. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I saw like dark souls. Now they're showing me just going floop, and being plucked off of the earth in this moment, guys. Dark souls are being plucked off of the earth right now, like vroom, vroom, vroom. Like it's nuts, and they're not going lightly. So pay attention to anything like that within the world of people just going vroom and being gone. Like seriously, that's
It's
what they're showing
happening.
me. It's not, they're not taking this lightly, like at all. These are souls that are being like, I wouldn't call it hell, right? But they're being condemned. So more like a solitude, more like a purgatory, I guess you could say it's something like that.
It's hell.
Where they're gonna go and have a lot to learn, right? So they get to like review everything they did is what they're showing me. Almost like they have to watch a screen of all the kids that they hurt. Sorry, that I can feel the emotion. All right, so we're finishing up with the darkness. They're saying, thank goodness. And then they're going to do something like raising our vibration to the complete highest place. And then we're going to manifest with light codes. We're going to manifest with divine lightning speed. We're going to manifest and access light codes. Like lightning speed information, lightning speed access, lightning speed gifts. Again, they want one of you writing. One of you is such a beautiful, gifted writer, and you know who you are. And it's just time. It's like poetry access. Again, please allow this to happen with ease where nobody gets harmed. Please, 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 and thank you. So be it, and so it is. I saw lightning come down and strike, and I heard Ghana. Lightning came down and strike Ghana. Something about Ghana is not okay. Something about Ghana has to fall away.
Told you I did that.
We just can't keep doing the things anymore. So it's not the end of days, but it's the end of ways.
It's the end of days for some.
Removing the division, removing the need to control. So certain places were kept small on purpose. Yeah, and I don't know why they're being shown the virus didn't come from China. I don't know why. There's some kind of weird thing going on there. There's some kind of weird thing where we were trying to eliminate them or something. They're not showing me the full picture, but there's a lot more there that's not meeting our eye. And so all we're going to do right now is just allow that to be switched, allow that to be taken out, allow it to be seen, allow this virus to please fall away. Allow us to please go back to normalcy, but a new normalcy, not the old normalcy. Allow us to transition into this new light and into this new world where our freedom and our fear is just gone. Our freedom's here and the fear is gone. And we're allowed to take off the masks, and we're allowed to embrace each other again, because they're keeping us from embracing. That's really what it's about. It's that embracing feeling. It's not exactly, it's the embrace. And I'm getting so much chills with that, you guys. It's that embrace that they stopped. So now I see a little bit more of the divide being eliminated, like color divide and all those things that they put out that were on purpose. They wanted to weaken our structure system. That was the whole point. And again, something with money. So we're eliminating the negative ties there. There was never a shortage in money. They can make it. I mean, but people are like, oh, shortage. Oh, because the virus.
No.
It's like a switch. All right, so now we get into the beauty. So they're closing off Mount Shasta, you guys. They're like closing off the whole exposed route, right? And they're just making it peaceful and calm. And I can see grass growing now, and it's like getting really beautiful. And new life is sprouting, like that has been shrouded over there. It's like new life is sprouting over there, and the vibration is even healing. And her whole root chakra was just healed. We released so much.
So I had to heal it before we transitioned it to Fiji. That's the coolest part.
Shadow work out of the earth, you guys. That was amazing. And not only the earth, but ourselves, right? And so we'll be ready for new gifts coming through again, they're saying. And now they want you dropping into your new heart space. So if you have to tap to transition, that's okay. Tap on your chest, but allow your focus to drop down. And we're just going to sit here for a moment. I'm feeling a lot of dizziness, a lot of shifting going on. Your crystals are now being put back down, so their upgrade is now complete. And now they want us to come up with a new manifestation, but instead of, I mean, you could, when you feel like you have it right, spirit animals and all of the spirit animals coming.
So I'm seeing if there's anything else important I need to
you
share.
guys in our heart space, there's like, is like connecting with the center of the earth. It's really interesting. So I can see the core light up, then I see a heart space light up, and they're like communicating.
Which is really funny because until I did the Nile, there was still a dark crystal in the core of the earth as well. That's not a joke. I recently did the Nile. Okay, the next one was Fiji. Fiji was where we
all right, you guys.
Changed it
so hard.
Fiji is a very powerful workshop. I would also recommend watching. It's one that I need to watch again, I'm sure. This actually, they had me create. It was a crystalline grid that they had me take down when I finished activating all the female pyramids. So this one I created for Fiji, and I didn't take it down until after I activated all of the female pyramids. Okay. So that was also very relevant. It goes with it. And eventually I cut off life support to California completely. So we had to cleanse the root chakra. It was taken from the Fiji. Fiji was cut off again, and the God portal was closed off. Okay. Then they took it to Mount Shasta. Like I had said, they'd done some ritual there, and they created Mount Shasta to be a portal for them, which was very low vibrational. It was all part of keeping you guys in check. And then they would fill it with all kinds of negativity, dark souls, a lot of people who had suffered and dying and things. So this is all very relevant. So what we're going to do in part 2 in Mount Shasta, I do not know. I hope to God the masculine can actually love us, love this earth, love the work that I've done, and love who he is. Otherwise, it'll be me and Malachi. But either way, we will be doing Mount Shasta part 2. And I really do hope it's the DM. It needs to be, it should be. So I look forward to seeing what comes. That's July 22nd of 2023. You can partake in that one. If you do, I encourage you to do part 1 because it does have important DNA activations in there. You cannot receive otherwise. Okay. But I needed to reshare it, and I will be undoing the original share. So much love to all of you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And for those of you who are new, please stick around, subscribe, pay attention to the videos that I've done, because then after Fiji, it became the sun and the moon. I had to undo the false concept of, and then I had to undo the false concept of time. And then I just kept going. It was not done. More pyramid activations, more pyramid activations. And then came the DM time. I took us into 7D, not 5D. I cleared the entire shadow of the earth, the collective soul, individual. And that's why you have to just clear your shadow. And if you still don't know who I am by now, I don't know what else to tell you. Okay. And this one came the presidency stuff again. I undid it completely, and we burned the whole entire place down. So much love to all of you. Have an amazing day. Hasta la vista.